们不对了，现在也不晓得住哪里。
都有不是，对不起大家。
Trade truce can't save China's SMEs from bankruptcy wave. China's Xi'an manufacturing PMI plunged from 50.4 in April to 48.3 in May, the lowest level since October 2022. This sharp drop signals serious trouble beneath the surface of China's economy. The U.S.-China tariff war may be on pause, but Chinese SMEs are collapsing one after another. Xi'an's survey focuses on small and medium-sized manufacturers, the heart of China's real economy. Experts warn that when Xi'an weakens first, it means the most resilient part of the supply chain is breaking. This buffer zone was once China's shock absorber. Now it's falling apart. A deeper systemic economic crisis may be just beginning. Data point to a bleak future for China's manufacturing. Both domestic and overseas demand are crumbling. Xi'an's latest release on June 3rd shows China's manufacturing PMI plunged from 50.4 in April to 48.3 in May, a sharp 2.1% drop. It's the first time in 8 months the index has dipped below 50, marking the lowest reading since October 2022, signaling contraction. In May, market confidence deteriorated. Supply and demand shrank notably. Exports fell for a second straight month, and the Export Orders Index hit its worst level since August 2023, confirming collapsing external demand. U.S. economist David Huang told Epoch Times the PMI has now returned to its weakest point since the 2022 post-COVID shock. Behind the crash, vanishing overseas orders, global supply chain shifts to Southeast Asia, India, and Mexico, and sinking domestic investor confidence. He noted that despite tariff hikes being temporarily delayed in May, the damage was done. U.S. tariffs on EVs, batteries, and medical gear were announced in April, and customers had already moved their orders elsewhere. The ripple effects are now hitting home. Huang believes the trade war is just the spark. The deeper crisis stems from collapsing global trust in China, intensified by export bans and geopolitical shifts. The term weak external demand masks a wider breakdown in confidence. Professor Sun Guoxiang of Nanhua University agrees. The tariff threat alone was enough to scare off buyers before any formal hike. And with domestic demand also fading fast, China's manufacturing sector is now standing on quicksand, with no solid ground left. Wave of bankruptcies hits Chinese SMEs, tragic scenes, flood social media epic. Times reporters have observed a surge of videos and posts on Chinese social media platforms showing factories shutting down and workers becoming unemployed. On June 4th, one blogger posted a video saying, "Our small factory has been dissolved. Although we only worked together for a short 2 months, the factory owner was a very kind and compassionate person. She personally reached out to customers and helped all 7 of us find new jobs so we can continue working." The factory had accumulated too much debt with the bank. There was no choice but to shut it down and take other jobs to repay the debt. On June 3rd, another blogger posted a video saying, "It's tragic. A 1,500 square meter factory now has only 2 people working. The factory has completely ceased operations. This is the dire situation of factories making products for the Shishangxing office building in Huqiao, Haizhu District, Guangzhou, after June 1st. Factory owners, this year you must be extremely cautious about starting or running a factory." On May 29th, another blogger filmed the shutdown of another machinery equipment factory in the Dawang High-Tech Industrial Zone in Zhaoqing, Guangdong. Recently, Jiangxi Jihao Electronics Technology Co. Ltd. formally filed for bankruptcy with the Longnan City Court. The company is currently embroiled in multiple large-scale contract dispute cases with mounting legal risks. Jiangxi Jihao Electronics Technology Co. Ltd. was once a leading enterprise in the Guangzhou Electronics Information Industrial Park. It was funded by Shenzhen Wuzhou Technology Combinations Limited with a total investment of 3 billion RMB, covering a factory area of 575 mu, about 95 acres. The company specialized in producing IC substrates, flexible printed circuit boards, and other types of circuit boards. The project was fully completed and put into production in May 2019. It was once recognized as a national high-tech enterprise and a specialized, refined, distinctive, and innovative SME in China. On June 2nd, the blogger 3C Digital Xi'an shared on his personal media program, "Today, while chatting with some friends, I heard that yet another few small and medium-sized manufacturing factories have gone bankrupt. This year has been extremely difficult." He analyzed that the reasons behind this year's manufacturing bankruptcies mainly fall into 3 categories. First, profits have been wiped out by unpaid receivables. Second, product quality has been undermined by price wars. Customers keep pushing for price cuts. Original profit margins, already below 10%, are now being forced down to 5% or even 3%. If you refuse to lower prices but your competitors do, even if your product costs just a bit more, no one will buy from you. Third, innovation is being copied by competitors. After investing substantial effort into R&D, a new product is launched, only to be copied within a month. The competing product is nearly identical and even cheaper, and there is little that can be done about it. The blogger concluded, "With these 3 great mountains weighing us down, our manufacturing sector is really struggling. It's already a blessing not to be crushed to death." Expert, China's manufacturing resilience zone is collapsing. The economic shock has only just begun. Compared to the Xi'an China manufacturing PMI, which fell from 50.4 in April to 48.3 in May, the official manufacturing PMI released last Saturday, May 31st, by China's National Bureau of Statistics rose from 49.0 in April to 49.5 in May. However, it still remained in contraction territory, below 50. The Xi'an survey was conducted between May 12 and May 21st, while the National Bureau of Statistics survey typically takes place between the 22nd and 25th of each month. Professor Sun Guoxiang pointed out that the Xi'an PMI sample mainly consists of private small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, and export-oriented companies. Compared to the official data, this group is more sensitive to market fluctuations, meaning that in the current downturn, SMEs are bearing the brunt of the impact. These companies generally face difficulties in accessing financing, cannot withstand raw material price volatility, lack policy support, and risk hedging capabilities. Once orders decline, they have little cushion to fall back on and can quickly fall into cash flow crises or even bankruptcy and liquidation. David Huang noted that the Xi'an PMI survey is less susceptible to interference and data embellishment by local governments. Therefore, when the Xi'an PMI weakens first, it indicates that SMEs, the resilience zone of China's manufacturing sector, are now collapsing. These small businesses typically rely on volume-based profit strategies, flexible supply chains, and short-term non-bank financing to stay afloat. They play a direct role in stabilizing employment in suburban areas and act as an income stabilizer for society's lower income classes. When the weakening indicators no longer stem from the giants, but from the capillaries within the resilience zone, the economic shock has only just begun, he said. According to Xi'an data, employment in the manufacturing sector continues to decline. Over the past 9 months, the employment index has fallen below the 50 threshold, which separates growth from contraction 8 times. Enterprises are facing tremendous market pressures and are not inclined to expand hiring. David Huang observed that prolonged contraction in manufacturing will first impact employment, especially for skilled workers such as electronic assemblers, textile workers, and metal plastic mold operators. Even if they manage to keep their jobs, their real incomes are not increasing. Looking ahead, potential waves of layoffs among export-oriented enterprises in Guangdong, Zhejiang, and Fujian are an area of particular concern.